Alright, so Donda Deluxe just dropped, and all I can say, man, is what the f, Kanye? I am a really big fan of Donda. I thought it was a phenomenal album through and through, start to finish, straight masterpiece, piece of artistic artwork that the world needed to hear. And frankly, I think it was kind of the album of the year. But out of nowhere, literally, I think like an hour ago, he suddenly decided, you know what? Let's drop Donda Deluxe. At first, I was like, you know what? Quick little deluxe album. He probably threw a couple songs on the end, maybe some at the beginning like some artists do, but no, this dude took it to a whole nother fucking like Kanye level that I've never seen before. What this dude did is, instead of throwing 5 songs on at the end, he decides to put them randomly throughout the album and completely change the order of all of the original songs for the deluxe version. Now, I will admit I have not listened to the deluxe version all the way through yet because it is an entire 2 hours and 11 minutes long. The original Donda album was like an hour 48, already had 27 songs. Now this one has 32. So not only was the original a long album, so was the deluxe. It's even longer. It's an extended version of an already long album. And I'm gonna be honest, I was not really expecting a deluxe version of this album. Having all the part 2s at the end of the original made it feel like that was already sort of a deluxe. Kind of like the part 2s weren't supposed to be on the album or whatever you want to call it. But no, here he comes with this whole ass 5 extra songs, bring it up to 32, over 2 hours long for this massive ass deluxe album. Do I plan on listening to the deluxe version from start to finish multiple times? Yes, of course I do. Once I've listened to the deluxe all the way through at least once, I'm going to comment down below and pin my comment so you guys can see what my thoughts are on it. Because at least to me, an album generally is set up to have a start to finish, right? At the beginning, you're kind of getting like the beginning of the story. Throughout it, it tells you different sub-stories, but they all connect to create this one central theme, central story, generally speaking. At least that's how I think albums should be done, and I think that's how Donda felt. However, with Donda Deluxe being in a completely different order, I don't really know what to expect with it. Is it going to have the same start to finish appeal that the original one did? Or is it just going to feel like a conglomeration, a variation of just random songs thrown in at different places from the album and adding some more in? But at the same time, it's also a little bit intimidating to listen to because this man made a 2 hour and 11 minute album deluxe. Like, bro, that's just a lot to digest all at once. Like, an hour 48 was already a lot, but over 2 hours, man? That's just insane. Of course, I'm still gonna listen to it all the way through at least a few times, but just looking at it originally, it does look a little bit overwhelming, and I feel like that's what a lot of people are gonna feel if they haven't already listened to Donda before, or if they're new to this whole extremely long album type of feel. Now, I did start hearing murmurs about Donda Deluxe, I think within the past week or so. I didn't really know what to think about that, honestly. I was like, oh, it's Kanye West. If he's talking about Donda Deluxe now, I probably wouldn't expect it to drop for, you know, maybe a year and a half, 2 years, because we all know that Kanye West likes to take his time on his albums. I'm glad that he does take his time on his albums so he can make these beautiful artistic creations, but it felt like it came out of nowhere. I mean, the original Donda came out a few months ago, and now suddenly we have a deluxe. I did expect it to drop on a Sunday because that's when the original Donda dropped. However, for it to drop so suddenly with such little warning, in my opinion, which is almost how the original Donda felt as well, how it was just surprise dropped on a random Sunday one time. Now, I think the biggest thing that I'm curious about with this deluxe version are some of the new songs on this, or maybe some of the old songs, going to chart, or I guess re-chart for the ones that were on the original. Like on the original Donda, a bunch of the songs started charting top 1, top 2, all that good stuff, like right up there in the top charts. And then Certified Lover Boy by Drake came in, fucking just like pushed all those down, and it just took over completely. But with the CLB hype train kind of gone now, I'm really wondering, is Donda Deluxe gonna take over the top charts again? Only time will tell, honestly. Only time will tell. Now, generally speaking, I am usually against deluxe albums because most of the time, like I said, albums, they have that sort of like start to finish appeal. A perfect example is Call Me If You Get Lost by Tyler, the Creator. Another one of my favorite albums this year. You listen to that, you get a storyline, start to finish. Songs blend in together a little bit, and it just has this storyline artistic appeal to it. And a lot of other albums are that way as well. And like I said, I think that's how albums should be. But if an album already has a start to finish to it, that's when the finish should be. You shouldn't be throwing on a couple extra songs. Like, it just feels kind of sleazy to me sometimes, you know? Like, it's like, oh, my album, it did great, but it's kind of fallen off a little bit. Let's throw in 3, 4, 5 songs, see how it does. That is how most artists' deluxe albums end up being. However, there have been a few times where I've seen it done just a little bit different. differently. For example, Lil Uzi Vert with Eternal Take, how he kind of threw on the songs before the actual original album. That I feel like blended together pretty well. I think he did a good job setting that whole thing up. We got the Kid Laroi, who basically dropped like 3 EPs, which is technically just one really long album, and then made a deluxe of the 3rd EP, and it was just structured very interestingly and ultimately just played into album sales very, very well. But Kanye did something completely different than all 3 of these. What this feels like with Kanye West is he wrote down the names of every individual song on a piece of paper, put them all in a hat, shook it up a little bit, picked up random songs, said boom, first song. Okay, that's the 2nd song. That's the 3rd song. That's kind of what it feels like to me. However, because it is Kanye, I really don't think they were randomly placed. Something's telling me that the way that it's structured is going to tell the same type of story, but just slightly different, right? Kind of like an extended version of the story that's slightly updated with a little bit more details. That sort of feel. Now, of course, I do have to listen to the album, like I mentioned, to really get a good feel for that, and I definitely will. But ultimately, the whole Donda Deluxe thing, man, I'm gonna be honest, I think it's a little bit absurd. Generally speaking, I'm not the biggest fan of deluxe albums, if you couldn't tell. However, I'm kind of hoping that Kanye did this one right. And with me being a little bit of a Kanye stan, I'm almost thinking that he did. I mean, he did such a great job with the original Donda that I got a good feeling that the deluxe is going to be just as high quality. Now, should I have listened to the entirety of the deluxe album before making this video? Possibly, maybe. You can make that argument, but I kind of decided not to, simply because it's getting kind of late right now, and I would like to go to bed tonight, and I have no ability to film videos in the morning. So yeah, here we are with this. However, like I said like 4 or 5 times in this video already, I will be pinning my comment about what I actually thought about the album, not just the fact that he threw out a deluxe out of nowhere. But with all that said, that's the video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any other future videos that I post. Join the Discord server down below, aka the Based Tribe. If you have any recommendations for what other artwork or anything else I should put up for my new studio setup, let me know. I definitely need to get something on that blank ass white door sometime soon. And if you did stay till the end of this video, I got a really good feeling you enjoyed the rest of my videos. So click on this playlist popping up on screen and go and binge some of my content. With all that said, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace.